So today I'll be reviewing Pokemon Journeys episode 99, Marnie of Spikemuth. This was another World Championship battle taking place in the Galar region, this time with Ash versus Marnie. So getting right into it, the episode starts off with Marnie who's getting ready for her Ultra Class battle with Ash, which wasn't hinted at all in any of the previous episodes. This kinda just happened with no foreshadowing, which I'm not mad at, but I did find it weird. After that we switch over to Spikemuth where Ash shows up for his battle, not knowing that he was tricked by Team Yell. So they walk through the town and eventually he meets Piers, who attacks him immediately for disrupting his concert practice. And then Ash introduces himself and says he's here for a battle, and Piers already knew who he was and says that Marnie is at the stadium already. So after realizing that they were fooled by Team Yell, Piers offers to give Ash a ride to the stadium on his motorcycle and then proceeds to drive there slowly because safety first, which I thought was pretty funny. So as they're driving, Ash learns about Team Yell and how Spikemuth doesn't have a power spot for Marnie to reach her full potential, and we also learn that Marnie entered the World Championships because she hopes becoming champion will make her town famous and revitalize it. Meanwhile at the stadium, Ash is on the verge of being disqualified, but Marnie doesn't want to win like that, and luckily Ash shows up just in time and Marnie gives it to Team Yell for trying to give her a cheap win. After that, Moripeko meets Pikachu and Marnie tells Ash that she can't afford to lose. Then as we get ready for the battle, we learn that Marnie is ranked 29th, which was only 7 ahead of Ash, which is actually pretty close. And we find out that this battle is going to be a 1v1, which I thought was weird since there's only a few battles left, so why make them shorter? But this is likely due to time constraints since they spent half the episode establishing who Piers and Marnie are. So Marnie picks her ace Pokemon Grimmsnarl and Ash chooses Gengar, which I was happy about since Gengar obviously needed this development. And the battle begins with Marnie using Spirit Break and Gengar countering with Dazzling Gleam, which is one of its new moves, and then following it up with an Ice Punch to knock Grimmsnarl out of the sky, but Marnie was able to respond immediately and then counters by Gigantamaxing and using G-Max Snooze, which Ash stops with a Dazzling Gleam shield, which is pretty cool. It kind of reminded me of the counter shield from Diamond and Pearl and the Hurricane shield that Dragonite used when it was battling Iris. So after Gengar overcomes G-Max Snooze and tries another new move, which is Sludge Bomb, Marnie stops it with G-Max Quake, and this leads to Ash countering with Gigantamax Gengar, and this is the first time since episode 13 where Ash has used a Gigantamax Pokemon to actually battle. So then they both go at it with their Gigantamax moves. Then Marnie's Gigantamax runs out and Ash tries to end it all with Max Hailstorm, but Grimmsnarl runs through and hits Gengar with Spirit Strike and then Darkest Lariat to knock away Max Terra easily. But before it can land a hit on Gengar itself, Gengar eats Grimmsnarl to stop it as its Gigantamax runs out, and this leads to a battle between Stomping Tantrum and Shadow Ball, and Gengar wins, giving Ash the win, moving him up to 15th in the World Championships. So after the battle we learned that Marnie made the town more popular like they wanted, and this leads to her smiling for Ash and saying that she hasn't given up yet as she shakes his hand, and the episode ends. So this was a pretty good World Championship battle despite it only being a 1v1. The reason it was short was obviously because they waited 99 episodes to introduce 2 important characters from the games, so they had to fit their backstories in there as well, which limited the overall time they had to make the battle. When it comes to the story, I already knew everything that they were talking about from playing the Sword and Shield games, and nothing new was added. And since her town got famous by the end of the episode, I don't think that we'll see her in battle again since it wouldn't be necessary for her story. Another thing I found interesting is that Piers already knew who Ash was, even though he comes across as someone who doesn't care, which just goes to show you how popular Ash has become. When it comes to the battle itself, despite it only being a 1v1, I still found it very enjoyable since we got to see Gengar in its Gigantamax form and have its training pay off in a great win. And like I was saying earlier, this was a pretty good episode when it comes to the art animation as well. I'm hoping we get to see Ash use Pikachu in his next Gigantamax battle since I think he'll need Pikachu to beat Leon, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. With that being said, I give this episode a 9 out of 10. It checked off all the boxes I need for this Gengar battle and ending its character arc, and for Marnie and Piers' first appearance. I'm not sure if they'll appear again later on since Piers doesn't seem like he's part of the World Championships, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. That being said, we're getting a new opening next week and I plan on discussing that in my next video. And after that, I plan on making a video talking about who the Sylveon trainer might be, so be sure to stay tuned for that. With that being said, thanks for watching and bye.